Hello, and welcome to the Generals Tournament here with Steel Division 2 in Game 7, I do believe, here on Orsha East, 25th Hadosztály. We're going to pretend I pronounce Hungarian correctly. V for victory, Fantyx versus Yamin, playing 3rd Canadian Maverick. So, to jump on into the match here. Yeah, British player playing 3rd Canadian Infantry. He's obviously a big fan of these. Meanwhile, on the other end, Hungarian here, Fantyx, preferring to play his Hungarian Hadosztály. I do think the Hungarian division kind of lacks in the AT department to deal with 3rd Canadian, especially once you get to Maverick phase. You're like just so many kangaroos start coming in that you really need just a ton of AT to deal with it, and like the single journey doesn't really do it much of a justice. It's massive push down stuff here. Staghound AA even being used. Just the assault pioneers completely are going to probably clean up these longer shocks. Some of these units coming down, and he's actually Yamin is actually chosen because he knows the speed of the opposing division to rush down this road and come over here rather than the more traditional go over here and then slowly make it into this position and pull a push on. So the Staghound's got to make it in before all this infantry. 40M is coming in, so that's going to have to unload here to kill off that Staghound before they kill off any of the infantry, as the famous engagement in the south gets started and the Staghound AA already pinning down everything. Now there isn't any actual AT down here, right? And now 3rd Canadian, right, a lot of its firepower only starts coming into B phase. You still need some kind of AT to deal with this. Like, just pure CQC is not gonna stick it, right? Because even beyond that, you've got the white trucks and the 2-inch carriers, so you can bring in like brain carrier groups and stuff like that, and this take on the A, of course, and the Spitfire coming in, and now these units are going to move forward. As long as the 2-inch carrier can get involved there, everything down here will go down to just a couple of units by Yamin. So we'll have to see how he manages to do that. As we're already on a 14-10 defense group, the Lagershowshak actually, funnily enough, did win against the 2 Flamers, but the defense group then finished that off with his double Bren there. And up in the north, Flamer's gone down. All the stuff up here has been taken care of. Staghound AA likely pinned everything down. They've just got the Hegi here. And now Hegi, they're a little bit expensive, I think, for what they are. Like, they might be too good at 20 points, but at 25, with just the Madsen rifle, they're chunky squads, but Molotov and only the 3 submachine guns, they don't really have the DPS to do that amazingly at CQC, and then their long-range firepower, if it wasn't for the straight bullet rifle, would just be abysmal as well, as the Madsen, basically a slightly worse Bren rifle, I do believe. I wonder if there's a unit with like a single Bren that we can find somewhere around here. Probably not. But yeah. Rifles Piet moving forward now. 2-inch carrier getting involved. Going to be pinning down all this kind of stuff. And in contrast to another match we saw, good players with their 50 mils are certainly very dangerous with it. And really, Fantyx hasn't even had the chance to use his 50 mils at all, as the rifles with Piet are moving forward. This one's even being microed. Peggy-Dash definitely have the advantage on that, but not against the Staghound, which is just going to get on target with its dual 50 cals. And Bert, look at that, already pinned down. Here come the rifles Pieted for the surrender. Crazy there. He must know that there's like no AT or anything in here. 2-inch carrier even moving forward to provide some recon. Sniper scouts all the way back there for some reason. Bover's coming in to defend against some of it, and we're already on a 59. And it's not looking too healthy. Fantyx has actually brought in both of these Zerinis in at 3 vet, and I'm not sure if you get 3 or 4 of them. But you certainly get quite a few. And now the low-veg, relatively good units. Here, I think they're also only just 25 points for a double soul thorn. Like, this is a much better loadout, in my opinion, than the Hegi. But, yeah, now they're just sitting there. Might actually get a Panzerfaust on this if it doesn't catch it out in the opening here. But, nope, it is just going to come around behind it, probably spot it, surround it, and that's going to get cleared out. Especially since I don't think this counts as an automatic rifle. Yeah, it is an LMG. So we'll be having problems there. Stormtroopers versus the Loves. We'll get the TNT off. And now the stormtroopers are nice because unlike the other British infantry, I think the Assault Pioneers, they might be called, these actually have 6 health and 6 MPs, which neither of these MPs are very good, but that kind of makes them have a little bit of firepower, right? Yeah, at least get that 2 damage there. Well, micro to keep the low vision away from that, but now with the Assault Pioneers coming in here. Now there's some kind of other TNT unit. Assault group, maybe, in the Canadians, but the Assault Pioneers clean that up. Stormtroopers moving forward. Staghound definitely can't deal with Zerini. That does have the 105 armor. But even more units coming in to secure this area. The Homa Akasok to fend off the Assault Pioneers there. But now the Levis 25G is going to take a TNT to the face, and this time Fanty's not paying attention, unlike earlier. So that's going to get blasted to the face of the Levis. Do manage to get some DPS out on the defense group. Now the Stormtroopers are going to get involved again. More Hegivdash coming in, try to get some more CQC firepower in here. As the units just come flooding into the start here. We are on 18.6, and Fanty does have basically like 4 minutes to make this happen, and he's even like invested in a fucking wolf to shoot down these ousters. And like, yes, I get it, but you just gotta let these are almost bait half the time, right? We'll see in the next battle just how important these like recon plates could be here. But you know, some of the top players, you just bring like up overs and you completely stop all of them. Once again, Staghound moving forward. So the Arc could probably finish those off. We have seen Flames being really useful against lightly armored targets recently. But now like a 40M coming in, and if you brought in some like 18 guns or something, or like even a Panzerschreck, this might have been able to be stopped. Although it's debatable because the dual 50 cal of the Staghound AA is really, really good at pinning down units. When you consider they're only like double the cost of like a 50 cal half track, you get double the effectiveness of a 50 cal half track for the price of 250 cal half tracks, which is really good. And the 6-pounder even getting a shot on the Zerini here. The 2-star Federator can't even see it. That is surprising. I guess not. But yeah, these APCR 6-pounders definitely do quite a bit. The ME coming in doesn't get on target. It looks like it's diving for something. Is this attack grounding? Yeah. Does manage to get the kill there. So I guess he did finally see it. But now he's going to fly straight into that Bofors. Going for the ousters again. Spitfire comes in, pins down the Hegivdash, tag out the AA coming in again. Burt. Right. The what's it called up here has been forced back, and the Hegivdash are coming in to try and clear up these forests. And now as long as the Hegivdash can actually get in and throw their Molotovs, they'll probably do fine against these Assault Pioneers. But stack out AA coming around the side here. Gotta have to call in a Hetzer, and I think just the AT of 25th Hadlo is really putting the pressure here on Fantyx. Jeez, what are these names? Man. And yeah, just having to call in Jagdpanzers for little dinky, like basically double half tracks here is not amazing. As the Sherman 3 now comes in as well. Just like a 6-pounder coming in that's within APCR range here would be able to kill off the Zerini. So, yeah. So far, nothing down south. There could be a push made down here. There's not like AT or anything, but obviously Fenty doesn't know that. Cerny getting some shots on the Vickers here. Sherman's going to be able to provide excellent cover support here. And just this mobile AA, I tell you. Been using it to great effect. I'm surprised he took the Bofors instead of like the Canadian, what are they called? I think it's like the double Polston on an armored vehicle. But Bofors work fine too, especially if your enemy's not investing in AA, and he really needs to get like units on the field. So Fanty definitely using the speed advantage given by all those Jeeps and stuff, and all these light units that come in Jeeps to really get rid of it. I am surprised at how effective these ME210s are, really. But, you know, getting good shots on there. Just having to invest in 2 of those this early into the match when we're now just about entering B phase. I would be fairly worried, right? Third Canadian can just bring in maybe like an off-map or something and just spam kangaroo rifles to victory here. Priest coming in as well. it is a bit hard to sometimes like predict it. And 3rd Canadian doesn't have that amazing off map either, as the Fantyx goes down to the stormtroopers, having even thrown a TNT and might just like walk into its own TNT. Well, suicidal stormtroopers there. They killed the enemy too quickly. The DPS not coming in handy there. Well, the Yakpans are moving forward now. Did finally get some infantry in here, and it's a low-vis. Did retake this flag back in the north here. Really has to get something down here. There's, like, no AT again, so you could quite literally drive up a unit here, but he's got to worry about this entire ridge, which, Yamin did a great job focusing early on this area, because you exert influence on this particular cover. You can kind of push AT all the way down this reinforcement road, or have AT looking all the way down this reinforcement road, right? And it's just a great tool. Meanwhile, support weapons and all that kind of stuff can also be hiding in this yellow cover the entire time. And this entire area kind of becomes a no zone if you do manage to get that set up. And we've even seen like a 17 pounder. Though 17 pounders coming in probably for this hill just to, you know, exert influence over this middle ground a little bit. And now there's more assault pioneers in here. The jfVBKwAA did already throw their Molotov, and there's now like one too many assault pioneers here, I would consider, for the jfVBKwAA to deal with, just the amount of units there. This one's also fallen back. Would have been able to kill the single assault pioneers, but now, yeah, it's just going to be falling back, and the bright and fire of the rifles Piet are going to become a problem. And this stakeout, like, it's still alive, right? Yamin has done a remarkable job of keeping everything alive. I wonder where the smoke came from. Might have been like from the 50 mil or something, but the Zernis have not been able to deal with the stakeout AAs that are just completely preventing this infantry from pushing. And like 3rd Canadian is not known for its amazing infantry, except these kangaroo rifles, quite honestly. Now we see 2 of them coming in. And like, you can basically bum rush these kangaroo rifles and bum rush the Zerini. Oh, but it's got 10 damage. Okay, so that does change things. But like 8 damage AT guns, because of the armor of a half-track, specifically the armor of these kangaroos, which are actually cheaper than your regular 50 cal half-track. They might want to look at that, putting that back up if the Bren buff does get in. But yeah, if you only have an 8 damage AT gun, the kangaroos actually survive with like 8 health, half suppressed on them. So you can basically just bum rush tanks with the kangaroo. And yeah, okay, Piat, half health, half suppressed. You're pushing the chances below the 50% chance that it does get. As the Yakpanza is forced to come up here, there's Piats up here. Like these rifles leaders even have a Piat. So if this Yakpanza gets baited into chasing after the stakeout AA, it's just gotta go down to the rifles leader Piat there. Assuming that the Piats hit. As I was saying, like, it's a bit hit or miss if the kangaroo rifles can even hit their target sometimes, but yeah. Now priests here, as the ME410 210 comes over the 17 pounder. Doesn't actually get the kill there, surprisingly, but the Spitfire's on its ass now, and so it does go down, and that's a very expensive loss to be having here. Middle of B phase, tons of income coming in for Yamin, but it looks like he's microing instead of actually like buying units, which is kind of funny. I guess if you don't think you need more units on the field, why bother with it? As this stakeout AA has come forward again. The second Yakpans are good sorting. Maybe there was like a third or something, maybe not. But stakeout AA fitting down and finishing that off again. This Spitfire's coming in. There's no AA still. There's no money to call in AA. Just like ton of infantry trying to desperately salvage the situation. Pack 40 falling back at the right time. There is AA, huh? And artillery. How did he find like ammo for this? Or time for this? But with 4 minutes left, the early engagements in the north and the south really are putting the pressure on Fantyx here. As he has managed to get some units in here, but the jfVBKwAA, as we explained, are not that amazing out in the long range. And the stakeout AA is just coming forward again. The freaking Yakpanza 38T went down, probably to the Piat. Might have jumped out and just fired that. We see the rifles leader actually changed houses to the one that just barely manages to spot the hetzer. That's funny. So that might have been just on the range there. That I think 250 meter range. No, just 200. That looks like more than 200. Well, whatever. If you get into like the edge of the thing here, which is still technically yellow cover, maybe you got a shot on that way. But anyway, more 110s coming in with Lavez. The 49 is definitely not going to be able to deal with the Priest 105 as long as this is microed correctly. Now we see another one coming in, being able to do lots of good damage. He has managed to take the area on the hill here, but the kangaroo rifle's securing this one. There's going to be a kangaroo rifle sitting in here, and like these kangaroo rifles, just because they are such large squads, they kind of remind me of Strafniki, except with Brens instead of DPs, and they're 30 points at 35. Yeah, I think Strafs are 35. So maybe once the Bren buff comes in, we might actually see a nerf necessary this division. And now the Zarini, I don't think can actually spot what's happening to the stormtroopers here. He is really just blasting them, but the kangaroo rifles are going to get forward, and as soon as they get into one of these buildings, like they're basically already in range. The Zarini has to aim quickly. Kangaroo rifles out. Come on. Nope, he didn't stop to move. So the kangaroo rifles are not going to get the Zarini, and the Zarini does fall back in time. But now there's a T-38 here that has been shot by the 6-pounder, potentially by the Sherman coming up. And yeah, Sherman versus Hetzer though. Actually, looks like the Yak Panzer is firing at the 6-pounder, which might not pen if you just fire an AP. Actually gets the loner route anyway. Well, it shows what I know. I guess the AP shells, they still got 150 millimeters of pen, which at close range will kill Hetzers and stuff like this. And that goes down, so the set in the north is gone. Wolf coming in. He's got the commander in, though, to get that veterancy up everywhere. Triple vet Bofors now. Spitfire even coming in to go chase that down. Not going to happen, I don't think. Focus are just too quick. And the Hungarian Bofors are better than every other Bofors for some reason, because Hungarian bias. But, you know, well, none of that Hungarian bias is really doing him any good right now. As Yamin has managed a complete shutdown of his forces. The Staghound's here. Like, the exact same thing's got to happen again. As soon as this T-34 comes up to try and deal with the Staghound, which it is coming up, it's going to get sniped by the Piat. And now we can actually take a look here and see potentially what happened to that unit. Bum, 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 bum. T-34 comes up. And the Staghound immediately tries to come up, but now the rifles leaders move forward. The T-34 is retreating. So basically, it's a repeat happening, but he's not going to get on it. Just barely isn't. And now a ton of Loves are coming through. Are going to be able to pin down these kangaroo rifles, but they got no real way to deal with the stormtroopers besides, like, swarming them, I guess, you know? Somebody tanks Piet. Does get the hit there, and now the Staghound DA is coming forward. And ouch. Just ouch. The T-34 went down over here as well. Sherman's coming up. Multiple priests now firing. And actually are going to be able to pin and kill that Bofors if he's not careful. But 26 seconds left on the game. Just a complete breakdown of Fantyx's forces here from Yamin. More kangaroo rifles coming in. More Shermans. More Bofors. More rifles. Piet coming in to recover against this. Piet missed. Piet missed. I'm so surprised. But he's got to get another shot. Firing. And misses again. No, it doesn't. Ah, goddamn. So, geez, look at that. And now now the game ends. So, yeah, well played to Yamin there. Commiserations to Fantyx for that chronology. Jesus Christ. What killed the... There was a Bofors kill in, like, minute 251? That is crazy. No, the Bofors killed the Spitfire. I am done. Sorry. So yeah, just if we look at the chronology of things, that early phase, like the first 5 minutes were completely Yamin, right? Fantyx didn't start really trading positively until like the midway point, and by that time, Yamin had already all the flags that he really needed to, right? And so while the latter of the game was fairly even until Fantyx started desperately rushing units into targets. Yeah. Nasty stuff. So well executed by Yamin. And join me next time for Game 8. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.